Hello friends, today in less than 30 minutes we will finish complete C Sharp. We will play a challenge and by the end of this video you will know whether you are a beginner or average or very much proficient in C Sharp. The challenge and game is I will show you all the C Sharp concepts step by step, day by day in sequence. Now, some concepts you already know and some you don't know, right? So, you have to write the concepts which you don't know. You can write in the comments or in some notepad. Now, if you have written less than 5-10 concepts, which you don't know, that means you are good in C Sharp. Congrats. If you have written like 10 to 30 concepts which you don't know, then you are average. And if you have written more than 30-40 concepts, then you have to work hard on C Sharp. Okay. So the challenge is after this video, learn all the concepts which you don't know within 10 days. Okay. Step by step until you are proficient in C Sharp. All right. So challenge accepted. Let's start with the day one. Here is the day one, and the goal of this day one is if you know all the concepts here, that means you can write small basic programs confidently in C Sharp. Okay. First thing here is data types and variables. Variables store data and data types define what kind of data variable can be held, right? Then C Sharp provides built-in data types which are divided into value types and reference types. Value types like int, double, char, bool, which store the actual data directly in the memory, whereas reference types like a string and object store the address in the memory, okay, not the direct data. Next is nullable types. Normally value types can't hold null values, okay, but nullable types allow them to hold null values, okay. Next we have type reference keywords, and they are very important, where and dynamic. These are not data types but keywords. Like here, where lets the compiler decide the data type at the compile time, whereas dynamic decide at runtime. So dynamic can be changed at runtime, but it can cause errors, which is dangerous. See, I know I am just giving the hints, not the complete detailed answer with code, but that is the challenge. If you don't understand what I am saying or you don't know the practical use of any of the concept, then write them down, okay, and finish them in next 10 days. Next in day one is operators. Very simple. Arithmetic operators, plus, minus, you know this, right? Logical operators then. Here we have and, or, and not, which are mostly used with if-else conditions, you know, right? Then we have relational operators. Again, you know it. Double, equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than. Okay. Very simple. Okay. Nothing to explain. After that, we have control statements. Very important for basic programming. Simplest here is if else, which lets your program make decisions. If this, do this, else do this. Next, we have switch case, when there are multiple possible values for a single variable, then we use this. And don't forget to use break and default, okay, to in switch case. Then we have jump statements. Initially I don't know this jump word, but if you will look inside you will know this, okay. These are just the continue, break and returns, okay. So basically continue is used to skip the next loop, break, exit the loop or switch statement, and returns basically exit the methods completely, okay. Finally, in day one, we have loops. Very important. 4 types of loops we have: for loop, while, do while, and for each loop. Okay. While for based on the increment and condition it will run, while based on just the condition is true, do while will run at least once, and for each is used to loop through collections, right? Great, that's all for day one. Your foundation is set. I hope you know 70 to 80% of things here, because this is very basic. And if you don't know the real application of use of any of these, please learn. Alright, before moving forward, if you want me to post similar complete roadmaps for each of these skills of .NET, OOPS, C Sharp, Entity Framework, .NET Core, then write in the comments, write complete .NET, or you can write the specific skill also. Okay, so let's continue day 2. Alright, here is day 2 of our 10-day. This is the day 2. Day 2 is about how good you understand the classes and objects. Okay, classes is like a blueprint and object is like the real thing created from that blueprint class, right? Here inside every class we have methods and parameters. Each method can have a return type, right, which tells what values it will send back. Okay, like void, int, this is the return types. Void means method does not return anything. Next is parameter passing. By default, C# passes parameters by value. It's like a copy of the data will be sent. But if you want to modify the actual value, you have to pass it by the reference. Okay. And if you just want the method to return a value through a parameter, you can use the out. So this ref and out difference is very much important from the interview point of view. Ref needs the initialization before passing, out does not need it. Okay, then we have optional parameters. These let you call a method without providing the argument. Okay, if a value is not passed, the method uses it default value. Okay, after that we have named arguments, which will allow you to specify parameters with names. Okay, when calling a method. Next important thing about classes is constructors. Very important. Constructor is a special method that runs automatically whenever you create the object of the class, right? And we have 4 types of constructors. The default constructor, which takes no arguments and sets where you set the default values. Okay, then parameterized constructors, which allows you to pass values while creating the object of the class. Next we have constructor overloading concepts, by which you can have multiple constructors of the same class and every constructor will have different parameter list. Clear? Then we have static constructor and copy constructors. These are slightly complex. So static constructors, which run only once the entire class have to initialize the static data. Okay, and a copy constructor that creates a new object by copying data from the another existing object of the same class. Again, it's slightly complex. If you don't know it, then great. Not great, but if you know it, then great. But if you don't know it, then don't worry, it's okay. Okay, finally we have the fields which holds the data in the class. Okay, so great, that's all about your day 2. What do you think? How is it going? My suggestion again, note all the concepts which you don't know and then explore them. Okay, now before moving to day 3, if you are preparing for .NET interviews, then I invite you to accept my never give up challenge. See, here those who accepted that challenge, they got the offers. Okay, 1 2 5 10 50 rejections can't stop them, and in the end they achieved the great salaries. Here also you can see Okay, so accept the challenge by writing never give up in the comment section. And the day you get the success, come back and share your success story in comments to complete and finish the challenge. Okay, so are you ready? That way you will inspire others also. So write never give up in the comments right now. All right, now on this day, we will explore the four pillars of object oriented programming. You know, encapsulation, it wraps up the data and behavior function together inside a class and hide the internal details. Okay, we can control that, do that, implement that by using the access modifiers like you have public, private, protected, internal. Okay, I hope you know that. If you don't, please write. And then we can achieve encapsulation in C sharp by using properties. All right, combining data and function together. There you can use the getters and setters inside properties to read or update values safely. And yes, you can have the auto implemented read only and write only properties inside the C sharp as per encapsulation. That these are all under encapsulation. Second concept, inheritance. It allows one class to reuse the code of the another base class. Okay, the child class can use the functions of the parent class. Okay, we can have different types of inheritance: single, multi-level, hierarchical, and multiple can be done by interface. Okay, so then in inheritance we have these base keyword and this keyword. So base keyword refers to the parent class. This keyword refers to the current object. Both are very common interview questions and important. Then comes abstractions. It shows about the necessary features and hiding the complexity. Okay, how can you implement this in C sharp? By using abstract class and interfaces. Very, very important. Okay, so next is polymorphism concept, which is means many forms. It is of two types. One is compile time, which can be achieved using the method overloading. Second is and operator overloading, and second is runtime polymorphism, which can get it through method overriding. Okay, and yes, C sharp also supports indexers, which lets objects work like arrays when accessing data. Okay, so that's day 3, and now see how many concepts you know, how many you don't know, and be honest. Okay, otherwise that's not good. Be honest. Okay. All right, now in day 4, we will explore some of the most common data structures in C sharp. So the first one is arrays. Okay, very simple. It's a many type, it's single dimensional arrays we have, which stores elements in simple linear form like numbers, names. It's the default. Next, in C sharp also provide like very important array methods, which you must know, like the length, the sort, reverse. These are the array methods. Okay, then we have array class for advanced array operations, like for searching, for clearing the elements inside the array. Okay, then we have multi-dimensional arrays, which are like tables having rows and columns, and jagged arrays is like array of arrays. Okay, so next after arrays we have strings. So C sharp provide many string operations, like you have string operations like substring, replace, index of, to work with the strings. And I hope you know these methods. And next you can also use interpolation, string interpolation with this dollar symbol. Okay, to insert the variables directly inside the string. And then a very common interview question: what is the difference between a string and a string builder? In short, strings are immutable, and a string builder is mutable. Right? Finally, we have tuples. A tuple lets you store multiple values of different types, okay, together in one variable without creating a class. In class you can do it, but without class you can use tuples. Okay, so that is day 4, and I hope you are doing good. You have to write whatever you don't know. Hi friends, just a small notification. This video is part of my full course Top 500 .NET Interview Questions, which includes topic like .NET Core, Web API, SQL, Solid Principle, etc. All questions PDF book link is also present below in the description. So like these candidates, if you don't want to miss anything for your interviews, then try it. Otherwise, no problem. Let's continue. All right, in day 5, we will talk about generics, one of the most powerful and commonly used C# interview topics. What are generics? Generics allows you to create classes and methods that can work with any data type. Okay, that is its advantage. That will make your code reusable, flexible, and error free without losing performance. Okay, so in generics we have first generic classes. A generic class is like a type placeholder. Here I have given an example. So here this T means you can create this generic class which can work with any data type. So T can be integer, it can be string, or any. Okay, next are generic methods. So just like classes, method can also be generics. They can also work with any data type. Like this we can declare the generic methods, and here again T means it can work with different data types. So either you can write multiple methods with different data type, integer, string, or you can write a single method which is generic method. Then comes generic constraints, which gives you more control. For example, here this where T class means only the reference types can be used as this T. Okay, so only class, interface, delegate, array, or string will be allowed as this type. Okay, so but values like integer, boolean will not be allowed as the type parameter for this generic class. Okay, so by using constraints you can restrict and control the type of parameter in your class. Okay, otherwise you don't want some types to be entertained by the class, so then you will use this constraints. Okay, great, very short but very important. Make sure you know all 3 of them because all 3 of them are frequently used in the projects. So that's all about day 5. Now welcome to day 6 of 10-day C# challenge. Now we will explore collections and advanced data structures in day 6. So C# offers three main types of collections. First are non-generic collections. Non-generic collections can store any type of data, but they are not type safe because they are not generics. Okay, example, these array list, which stores a list of objects and can resize it automatically. Then we have hash table, which stores key and value pairs. And we have queue, stack, and sorted list. So queue and stack, which based on FIFO and LIFO they work, and sorted list, it will sort the list. Okay, but these are non-generic, but there are generic collections also. Okay, so generic collections, these are type safe, supports generics, and they are much faster. For example, this list is almost similar like array list, but the difference is it is type safe. It is a dynamic array that can grow and shrink. Then come dictionary, which is something like hash table, have keys and values, and again it is generic supported. Okay, then we have queue, stack, hash set, sorted. So there are many, linked list is there, but List and dictionary are the most important one, and then rest you know, then it's great. If you don't know, then also it is nothing to worry about. Okay. Finally, the third type of collections are specialized collections. Okay. And these are like concurrent collections which especially designed for multi-threading environments. Okay. So these are not so important. It's important, but it's, if you are working in a threading projects and that, then you can use these concurrent collections. But if you are not working, then it's not so important for you. But if you are proficient already, then you should try learning them. But if you are average, then you should first complete the average things. Okay. And make sure you know the real world usage of all these concepts. Here is just a notification, friend. If you want to prepare for all the topics, OOPS, C Sharp, MVC, .NET Core, SQL, Web API, C Sharp, coding problems, then check out in the description for the complete interview bootcamp on .NET. That is one stop destination for all the .NET questions. Welcome to day 7. Here we will focus on some very practical topics like exception handling and file handling. Exception handling simply to handle the unexpected errors that occur while the program is running. Right, you know it, okay? So to handle it, we have first thing what? Try catch. Oh, sorry, exception handling. Yeah, exception handling inside we have try catch finally block. Okay, so the code that might fails goes inside try block, then catch block will handle that code, the error, and finally will be executed no matter the code has error or not, for mostly for cleanup operations. Okay, then sometimes you need to throw the exceptions manually or using the throw keyword. And here you must know the difference between throw versus throw x. Very important from interview perspective. Okay. In short, throw will keep the original stack trace. Okay. While throw x will reset it, which is not good. Next, C Sharp also provides many built-in exceptions to handle the exception in a better way. Like we have argument null exception, index out of range exceptions, and many more. Because, and then yes, we have the global exceptions. Global exceptions are mostly used in the big applications. This is used to log and handle errors at a central place. Okay. Now let's move to the file handling, which is system.io space used for that. Reading and writing files, what you can use for this purpose, like you can use stream rider and stream writer. Okay, then you can perform file and directory operations like file.create, file.delete, directory.exist to manage the folder and files through your program, through your code. Okay. Next, modern C Sharp even supports asynchronous file handling. Okay, so file.read all text async is an example of that. This will keeps your app responsive while in the background the large files are processing, but your application remain responsive. Okay. Next is day 1, which is slightly complex than previous days. So I will call it the beginning of expert level. This is expert level 1. Okay. Here, first we have the functional programming, which is very important. In C Sharp, functional programming includes the extension methods. Okay. Extension methods let you add a new functionality to existing classes without modifying those classes. Okay. Then lambda expression, which are short inline functions without names, a compact way to pass the logic. Then comes the link queue, one of the very powerful tool in C Sharp. So you can use link queue different ways, in different ways, like you can use with the link queue queries. Okay, or you can use it to link you with the collections, or you can use LINQ with the lambda expressions also. Okay, so from C sharp 8 onwards, we have it. Okay, then we have pattern matching in C sharp inside the functional programming. Okay, it will write you cleaner conditional logic. And inside functional programming, we have concepts like, immutability, pure functions, higher order functions, declarative programming. So see, I know, I am not explaining them in detail. I'm just giving you the hints. So that's why I'm right. That's why it's a kind of challenge. It's a roadmap. It's not the complete tutorial. You have to think that whether you know or don't know, and if don't know, then just write it. Okay, great. So then in day 8 we have delegates. Okay, delegate, it's like a reference to a method. C sharp provides built-in delegates like action, func, predicate. Then you can create anonymous method where the method has no name and is defined inline. And finally, we have events and event handling. See, events will internally use delegates only. Okay, for example, button click is an event, but inside there it's a delegate. Okay, that's your day 8. Now it's the time for day 9 in your C sharp journey, which is the expert level 2. Here, the first topic is multi-threading. Multi-threading allows your program to perform multiple tasks at the same time, which will improve the speed and responsiveness of your application, right? So in C sharp, you can create and manage threads using either thread classes, where each thread will run a piece of code independently. Okay. But in modern C sharp, this is thread class, how you will implement the threads. But we have in modern C sharp tasks, which are managed threads handled by task classes. So tasks will inside use thread, but Microsoft have given you so that you can write the simple code. Okay, so task class is much easier, safer, and better as comparison to the thread class. Okay, so that's why Microsoft has given you this task. Okay, now we have the parallel programming concepts also. This you can achieve by using parallel.forEach to automatically distribute work across different codes. Okay, that is multi-threading. Now asynchronous programming, one of the very important concepts in modern C sharp. The purpose of asynchronous programming is to keep applications again fast and responsive. Okay, so especially when you are waiting for long running operations. For this, async and await keywords are used. Async mark a method as a asynchronous method, and await pauses the execution until the task is complete, okay, without blocking the main thread. So very important. Next, you can handle exceptions in async method using this async streams. Okay, so you can do this. So sorry, no, exception you can use in try catch also, the exception handling using async methods. Then C sharp onwards, we have async streams using iAsync enumerable. Okay, it's great for streaming data or real-time processing. Finally, we have serialization. Serialization means converting an object into a format that can be stored and transferred, okay, and later restructured maybe. So we have different types of serialization we can do, like binary serialization, JSON, and XML serialization. Out of these, JSON is the very important today for APIs and web communication. Great. So that is our day 9. If you know all these concepts, then great man, you are really proficient. And if you don't know, then mark them and start learning them, because you know where is the gap now. Okay. Now this is the last day of your 10-day challenge. It's very simple, but it's very huge, which will come with real world applications, regular practice. Okay. First, you should know what are the C sharp best practices, whatever they are, naming conventions, writing the programs, readability, okay, everything you know. Then you must know C sharps, how to implement solid principles and design pattern in C sharp to improve the performance of your application, how to write the code in a shorter way, and that's all in uh, C sharp. Okay, that is the second part. And in the last part, you must be able to create good projects in C sharp like .NET Core project, Razor Pages, Web API, MVC. See, if you are an expert in C sharp, but you are not able to create projects, then what's the use, right? So make sure that create projects and use appropriate C sharp concepts in them. Appropriate means, for example, if two concepts like tasks and threads both can do the same thing in your project, then as a good C sharp developer, you should know which concept will give you the better performance, better scalability, which is the best at that point of your project. That is how you will become a great C sharp developer. Okay. Remember, C sharp is not just a language, it's like a backbone to your entire .NET ecosystem. Okay. All right, that's it. Now you have to check how many concepts you have written in your comments, in the comments of the video or in your notepad. Explore the concepts which you don't know, learn those concepts, and then again complete the challenge. And make sure you should not be like more than 10 concepts which you don't know. Not less than 10 concepts is the target for yours. Even 5, I will say. And if you know all, then that will be great. And make sure you just don't know the concept, but you also know the implementation, the practical use of that concept. Otherwise, again, there is no purpose of it. Okay, so that's it.